Hey Jer, I liked your video on neo-Darwinism, and it's an interesting thing to think about how our society shapes the way we look at evolution and would look at nature. Um, I believe Sir Francis Bacon, who was largely responsible for creating the scientific method, talked about nature in rather violent terms. Talked about the scientific quest to tear apart nature and sort of mug it for its secrets or something like that. That's whereas I think genuine science ought to be a little more humble than that and sort of be in this receptive state, taking the secrets nature has to offer with gratitude. But I mean, it kind of reminds me of how there's one famous politician and populist who, unfortunately, his reputation has gone down in recent years. I think his name was William Jennings Bryan, and unfortunately, he is best known now for his role in the Scopes trial, in which he defended creationism and this Kansas law that made it illegal to teach evolution in the classroom. Um, and there's a great movie about that called Inherit the Wind. But a lot of people don't realize that his creationism was not just it wasn't just that the Bible was threatened by evolution. I mean, it was more the fact that he saw how evolution was used to justify the worst abuses of industrial capitalism in his day. Yeah, I mean, he was, unlike many creationists today, he was very much a progressive and a populist, and um, his I think his biggest enemy was social Darwinism, which was a dominant ideology in his day, and so and for him, he thought that the idea that we are all equal children of God had a great redeeming value, and that um, and the idea that we're all the result of competitive impersonal forces, and it's and that the best species comes out on top. Yeah, I mean that was he wasn't just hallucinating when he saw that that was being used to justify incredible abuses of power in those days. Um, and so I mean that's kind of what he took to the table uh, when he went to the Scopes trial and tried to and went up against his former ally Clarence Darrow, who was also a big progressive populist and fought for many of the same causes as him. Though Clarence Darrow was not a creationist, he was an agnostic, and he believed in humanism and equality and all these values in spite of evolution. But actually, I think one of the first major challenges to the view of evolution as mere competition was actually by Kropotkin. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. It's Peter Kropotkin. He was, for those who don't know, he was a anarcho-communist who, uh, his views on evolution can be seen as sort of having a political agenda, in that he believed that people didn't need the state. The state was the cause of all this inequality, and that if you and that people, rather than being this Hobbesian view of the state of nature where people are nasty, brutish, and short, he thought that people were naturally cooperative, and that the state and capitalism had made us competitive and mean to each other. And yeah, I mean, I don't agree with his view entirely either, but I think we understand the balance that the evolution is both cooperation and competition. Um, and I think now there's all these interesting challenges to neo-Darwinian theory. Such as Gaia theory and symbiogenesis, and there's Varela's idea of natural drift, and there's the Baldwin effect. There's even I think we're even seeing some sort of resurgence of some sort of neo-lamarckism, where we understand that there is some sort of agency in evolution. So I think what the picture that's emerging is that evolution is a lot more complex than we thought before. The sort of competitive view of natural selection is partially true. It exists and is a major factor, but there are a lot of other major factors that go into evolution, and it's not all one thing or the other. It's a very complex thing, and I think that there's I think if there's any law of evolution, it's sort of the law of complexity, or law of value. And actually, even then, I think there's both vertical evolution and horizontal evolution. There's horizontal evolution, where you sort of adapt to different niches in the environment, which Darwin saw when he looked at those different Galapagos finches. And then there's vertical evolution of transcending a certain state and yes, creating speciation and higher orders of complexity. So I guess I'll leave it there. Peace.